With Guy Shaver, Southwest Guilford Cowboys. Coach, take that record now unbeaten on the season. Another big win tonight. Talk about the victory. It was kind of a slow starting game, slow pace. It didn't really favor you guys early, but you kind of weathered that storm, kind of got in your regular tempo and rhythm. From that point on, you guys are in pretty good shape.
Absolutely. You know, I sat on the bench with Lee Revis, so kind of know him fairly well. And
when were those days?
Back in 04-05 with Eric Wallace and Big Chris.
That's Glenn High School.
Oh, yes.
Boy, some good days back then. That's back when, man, back against Dudley and several good teams back in the day. Yes, sir. Down in Greenville at East Carolina. Good days. Good days. But as far as tonight's game go, I mean, like I say, once you guys got in the rhythm, got in the tempo, it was your kind of game because you don't like to play those low-scoring games. You like the games in the 80s and 90s if you can get there.
Absolutely. We always try to get the guys to push it on both ends. Tonight, I told the guys in the locker room that they probably slow it down a little bit. 2 years ago, we played them, and they just kind of, not spook with the ball and everything like that. So I knew that they wanted that slower pace. I assumed that's what they were going to do, and we were right about that. So we had to kind of weather that, and it kind of picked up in that second quarter, and the guys started to pressure a little bit, and it was nice to get a couple of easy buckets coming out in that second quarter. So
does the pressure allow you to get them out of that pace? Is that what took them out of their pace, your pressure?
I believe so. We got a couple of easy buckets. We extended out to closer to half court. I think most people think you can just pressure in the full court, but we like to do it in the half court too. We're not the most athletic team. We're pretty quick, but we like to kind of make people do stuff that they really don't want to do.
It looked like a little role reverse at one stage tonight with KJ Langley, kind of known for his ball handling skills, but kind of became the shooter tonight. Those three-point shots. Talk about his outside game. It was looking great tonight.
Well, he can knock it down. I mean, he does a great job in practice, and he's had some games where he's knocked some down. And I think if he had his druthers, he'd really like to be that shooter and everything like that. So it's great when you can distribute and defend and knock down shots.
I think some would say Terrell Leach might have started slow, about 6 points first half. That's kind of not his usual game, but once he does get going, it doesn't take him long. He's on his way in the second half, and I think he fulfills his role and did his role again tonight.
Absolutely. The great thing was back in the locker room, he was thrilled for his teammates. He got in there and showed his post-up game a little bit and did a couple of things that people really aren't used to seeing him do. He rebounded the ball really well, and I think that the great thing about it is he kept his poise. I think they pushed him around a little bit, and I don't know how used to he is of that, but he handled it well.
You got a couple of guys, Austin Zente and I think Arjun Patel. We got to hear their names being called by the student section tonight, and those guys gave you a big boost too.
Absolutely, and you can throw Andrew Bullock in there
Bullock
too.
Also.
They call him Red, and they really just light it up for us. They ignite us on the defensive end, and that's where it starts with those guys when they come in, and they're thrilled to play that role. And a lot of teams, guys are thinking baskets. They're just happy to get a few steals, and pretty consistently they get you 2 or 3 steals a night, and go in and rebound, and whatever we ask them to do, they do happily.
Is this thing contagious right now? It's spread among all the players. This run you have with an unbeaten streak, is this contagious? The other guys are picking up on the regulars?
It really is. I mean, the guys pretty much all year. I mean, this has been a great coach. You'd be amazed at how many people have stopped me and say, we really enjoy you playing. And it's just nice to see the game played where everybody can contribute and play different roles and be happy with what they get. Sometimes usually you hear about guys complaining. These guys don't complain. Practices are fun. They're competitive. They like going against each other. And when you have a KJ Langley and a Terrell Leach to go against in practice every day, it affects you and makes you better.
Who would get the game balls? Now, if you had to get up a couple of game balls, who would you present those to?
I loved Terrell's poise, and I think some of those other guys, Ben knocked down a couple of shots, but I'd have to go with KJ. He really stepped up, did everything we asked him to do and more. He got those open looks at the bucket. He was happy to distribute at first and found his stroke there, and smiled and shared the ball and knocked a couple of balls away and got our break started. So I love the way he got his hands up on defense and got some deflections in there to get us going. 17
points for Hampton. Billups for their team for Northwest. Billups on the inside, fairly tough. You might run into some of that down the road. Do you think about that? Does that enter your mind about the inside presence maybe of another team? You guys don't have quite that inside presence. You do it with team effort, smaller players that are quicker and faster down the court. What about that inside game as you go further down the road? You're 17-0 now. I think it's a great place to be, but I'm sure you're looking a little bit ahead at least to Wednesday against Southern Alamance. What about that big side, inside presence down the road?
Well, we face the same thing with Northeast, and both of these guys have skilled guys inside that can really hit those boards. So we are very concerned with that. However, I think when you're averaging 80-some points a game, you got to give and take a little bit.
Sure, it's going to come from somewhere, bro.
Absolutely. If we can still continue to put up points, we like our chances. We're trying to pressure the ball in so they don't have real clean looks outside. So we want to pressure it all over the court to keep them from just getting a direct feed, and then try to protect from both behind and in front after he catches the ball.
You think about building up 17, but you probably look at Nick Powell and Cody Hilton. They didn't hurt you, probably. So that's to your advantage.
That is a thrill, because we really thought that was the game plan going in. A little surprised not to see Cody start tonight, but I'm sure Coach has his reasons, and he does a great job coaching those guys. So, and I know he liked to do some mind things. So, you put your point guard out there to jump center. I tried to warn my guys about that type of thing, and I think we responded to it well.
All right, do we have any players you could bring in real quickly? Anybody could bring us in?
KJ and Terrell right here.
Let's bring
Terrell, KJ.
Who's available? We'll get them real quick.
This is KJ Langley coming up.
Let's get KJ in first, and we'll get him in with Coach Guy Shavers. Talk about KJ's game tonight, Coach, what it meant to the team and that outside shooting again.
Well, I'm really impressed with KJ. He's grown up right in front of his eyes to be a sophomore and lead our team. We're not the same team without him. He gets everybody involved, and now I've been encouraging him lately to look for his shot a little bit more and do the things that we need to do to be successful. So, when you got Terrell on one side and Ben on the other side and KJ in the middle, it's a pretty tough triple there to beat.
Talk about it, KJ. Another good win tonight. The wins keep adding up. What does the season mean to this team so far as the Cowboys continue to kind of look further and further down the road with this unbeaten record?
It means a lot. We have goals that we have to face. So, yeah, it means a lot. We got this conference tournament coming up, and we got state. So we just take one game at a time.
Do you any hesitation about falling into that shooting mode tonight? I mean, the shot was there, you took it, and it kind of went your way.
No, it just came natural to me, so I just gave what the defense gave me and just knocked it down.
What about the rest of the teammates? You got those guys involved, too. We mentioned Coach earlier about Austin Zente, Andrew Bullock, and Arjun Patel. Guys like that stepping up, having big games for you, too, along with Tyreek Brister and others.
Oh, yes. It really means a lot, because it's just not me, Terrell, Ben. It's everybody contributing to the team, so it really helps a lot.
Another game Wednesday. You've got one Friday. Busy time for you right now. What do you have to do differently as you approach 3 games in 1 week? Kind of like a mini tournament week in some ways.
Yeah, we just have to take one game at a time. We got Southern Alamance tomorrow, and we have Ragsdale on Friday. So we just take Southern Alamance first, then Ragsdale. So one game at a time.
Personal thinking, when Coach said give you a game ball tonight, one of the game balls is going to go to KJ Langley. What about that personal feeling about being unbeaten? 17-0, what's that record mean to you?
It feels good, actually. Because it's the first time in about a long time since the school had a unbeaten basketball season, so it means a lot.
Well, good job on your part. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Could we see him at UNCG one day, Coach? I mean, you've got UNCG background. His dad's got UNCG background. What about KJ Langley at UNCG one day? I would think Wes Miller should be somewhere to be seen right here soon, I would think.
Well, his father and I played there together, and we'd love to see him be a Spartan. But, of course, that's KJ's choice. And I really think, being a sophomore, the future's really bright for him, and he's definitely going to have some options.
Well, we'll bring Terrell in here, Coach, and talk about what he meant to the team tonight. Another game ball going out to Terrell Leach, another fine effort by him. Wasn't quite the quick start as we mentioned earlier, but once he got going, he had his game.
Well, I believe that, Terrell is an athlete like unseen pretty much around the area and maybe in the state. And he's used to scoring his points, but he's a very patient guy. There were times I was asking him if he was frustrated. He's like, no, I'm all right, Coach. And that's who he is. So, he's seen pretty much every defense that you could ever see. And, I know most people haven't seen him in the post that much, but we know that he's capable of that. So just adding more things to his game, which I think will help us down the road as people throw different types of defense at us.
Terrell, talk about kind of a slow start tonight, but you found other ways to get involved in it. It's not always about the points, it's about your teammates. And Coach mentioned back toward the locker room, you were saying that same thing about getting your mates involved in the game.
I just knew, the game was going to come to me, later on. But, when I got the ball, I knew they was going to close in on me, so I just wanted to kick it out to Ben Ferguson and KJ because I knew they can knock down shots in the rest of my team. My bench players came off the bench and put up points for us too, so I feel they can get out the box for one on me. So our team is we were really deep this year. off the bench.
What about any dunks tonight?
Nah, I ain't getting no.
Any three-pointers tonight?
I only hit one.
Hey, that's a pretty big boost. So the team as a whole shot the three-pointer tonight, like one of your best games, I would think.
Yes, sir. We this year. I think this is the best three-point shooting team that been at Southwest since I've been here.
With the dish and drive, you guys are so quick to the basket. That kind of sets up the three-pointer for you in some ways too.
Yeah, everybody can get to the lane whenever they want to. So everybody the defense close in on us, and we just get to the corners real fast and knock down shots real.
Yeah, it works pretty good too. Your penetration and the penetration from KJ, you guys are looking and laying off on you guys, and you go in the lane should open up those outside slots as well.
Yes, sir. Me and KJ, we probably the fastest people on the team. So other teams know to close in when we drive, and Ben Ferguson is spotting up because we know where he's gonna be, so we just find him real easy.
What about this 17-0 now? I know the record keeps building. You guys got a game against Southern Alabama tomorrow, Rags on Friday. Big week for you, and it's been a big season. Does it feel good to have that under your belt now? Because that's a lot to be proud of.
Yes, sir. It feels great, but we just got to take it one game at a time and worry about tomorrow to get another win before we can go 18-0.
If you had to give yourself a grade on your senior season so far, you just had the exams about a week and a half ago, what would the grade be for your team on this season?
A.
How about for yourself?
A.
Can you do better?
Yes, sir.
All right. How about the game ball? Coach says give you a game ball tonight. That's got to be something to be proud of, too, because it can go a lot of different directions. To be getting those just about every game, that feels pretty good. On our website this week, we had the top Southwest Guilford Cowboys in the history of the school, and your name came up quite a bit. They said it was a lock. So, senior season going good for you.
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to lead my team, try to get ready for the playoffs and try to bring a championship to Southwest. Just take it one game at a time, really.
If your head hit the pillow one night, you're gonna have a dream. Would this be the dream? What is it coming true?
Our first goal was to go undefeated, so we're getting close to it. So yeah, we just.
I'm gonna let you roll soon. Who's been your toughest competition this season? Who do you give that tip of the cap to? You've had some close games and some wide open games. You guys have blown some people out.
I say High Point Central right now because it was the one point game, and we about went to overtime, but we got a foul at the end, so I think High Point Central was the toughest match.
All right, Southern Alabama Rags are coming up this week. Keep up the good work. Always good to get Terrell Leach on here. And thanks for the good job you're doing. Have a great senior season.
Thank you.
All right, Terrell Leach, Coach, congratulations on the win. And you guys just keep coming up strong. Keep up the good work.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Like Terrell stated, I think our depth really helps us down the stretch. We got a couple of 3-game weeks coming up back-to-back, and that kind of works that way in the playoffs if you want to go deep into it. So I think it's good practice for our team for guys to come and step in. Even, Daquan Bethea and Ambrose Jackson stepped in and got some big boards in there tonight. So, we can just keep calling numbers, and they keep stepping up big. So
it's building, Coach. Just keep working with it. You guys keep up the good work.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.